Welcome to Tuesday's Market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, folks, and JP Morgan, just the gift that keeps on giving after earnings. Still seeing a strong rally in JP Morgan. We're going to talk about Google earnings in a little bit. Let's start strategically, though, because the Middle East, obviously, things aren't just getting any better in there, and I don't ever see them ever getting better, especially with sanctions coming up on the horizon. Our sanctions are going back into effect against Iran in November, and our buddy China has already said, hey, we really don't care. We're going to actually get even more oil from Iran. Israel shot down a Syrian fighter jet, yesterday that had strayed into their airspace. Not a good development. Russian troops were going to be stationed inside of Syria near Israel's border. Israel said, yeah, don't do that, Russia. That's going to get ugly. All of this, who cares, right? The Dow's up 150 points right now. S&P's up 10, 15 points. Nobody cares. Well, folks, remember that the market only cares when it cares. I mean, nobody even remembers it yesterday. The president, more or less in all caps, threatened to annihilate Iran and the leader of Iran, kind of like he did with North Korea. And the sleeper, one of the sleeper stories is that North Korea is in fact dismantling one of their nuclear facilities. And of course, you're not going to hear that on the liberal media or anything like that, because obviously it just doesn't fit their narrative. North Korea starts taking down rocket launch site. There's like some anti-America day. Well, I think that was every day in North Korea up until recently, but anti-America day, and they canceled it. It's supposed to be some huge day of, death to America and everything like that, and they actually canceled it. So you don't hear the good developments. All you hear are the bad ones. But the reason I bring up at North Korea is because this is the same way that the president started dialogue with North Korea. The dude speaks in the language that these dudes understand. Okay, he's not Obama and diplomacy and let me bow in front of you and send you a couple of unmarked airplanes full of cash in the middle of the night and kiss your ass. That's not this president, which, for better or for worse, it's just, where you stand with the guy. So a lot going on internationally, folks, and obviously one of the biggest things going on that impact us are the tariffs. This morning, the president saying tariffs are the greatest. I know what he meant, and it's a little tongue-in-cheek. They aren't the greatest, right? Obviously, it's essentially a tax on us, the consumer, and that's not a good thing in the long run. But what the guy's getting at is tariffs are great for countries that have been sticking it to us for a half a century. And he's trying to make trade fair. And if you have a problem with free trade, you just don't understand capitalism. Maybe you're one of those socialist Democrats running around out there. Real quick, though, before I forget, tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, Wednesday the 25th at 1 o'clock, we're actually going to we're going to take a deeper dive into everything that I'm talking about right now. More importantly, we're also going to take a look at JP Morgan, also Tesla. We put on a bear call spread on Tesla. I recommended a bearish double vertical after the dude has just gone, you could say full retard. The man's lost it, Elon Musk. So nice, really nice bear call spread out of Tesla. Nice one-day gain. We might actually get out of this. We'll take a look at this in our 1 o'clock session today, called the Primary Live Trade Brief. But tomorrow, all you need to do to register is head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. And even if you can't attend tomorrow at 1 o'clock, please register and we'll send you the replay, because we have a lot to talk about, as you can see. Tech sector really leading the market higher here in the United States. Real quick before we get domestic, the PBOC and the Chinese government got involved in capitalism essentially last night in a big way, which is good. It's an initial bump in these markets. So we have a bear call spread we need to talk about today that we looked at last week we need to address. But folks, this is a short-term fix. So anytime the government, whether it's our Fed, the PBOC, the ECB over in Europe, anytime they get involved in capitalism, it might be short-term fun for the market. It's longer-term pain, okay? The hangover is usually worse than this joyous pop here. So I'd be selling into this pop. I don't see a big recovery in the Chinese markets, especially with the trade war issues that are going on right now. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? We're going to get GDP this week. We might even see, I think we see a north of 4% print. Going to be very, very good news for our economy. Google did get hit by that $5 billion European fine, but at the end of the day, it's just, in the time that it told me to say the word Google. 2 million people entered something into Google and just got served ads right in front of their face. I don't think I've ever clicked on an ad in my entire life, a banner ad or any of those sponsored ads on Google, but hey, man, it's working for them. So does this portend to be good for, earnings the rest of the week for like an Apple or Facebook? I don't know. China's really, Apple can get caught in this crossfire. It's very, very vulnerable in this U.S.-China trade slowdown, as the journal says here. So the U.S. imported about $45 billion in mobile phones from China last year. So this, it's just like the Middle East, things are going to get uglier before they get better, and you have to be very, very careful. Yesterday, the president was drunk tweeting, or as I like to say, Trump tweeting, and Amazon has already shrugged that off. It's already heading higher. Remember, we have Amazon earnings on Thursday. So we're going to talk about that as well tomorrow at 1 o'clock, kind of previewing Amazon earnings. But what a difference a day makes in this market. Yesterday, nuclear war with Iran, and the president's going after the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, and Amazon, and the next day it's up 1.5%. So kind of shrugging that off here. So again, a lot to talk about, a lot going on in the markets. We have a really good looking XLE bull put spread that we put on last week. Oil's really catching a bid on a lot of issues. So let's take a look at the XLE real quick. There you go, up 1.5%. So we put on a bull put spread right here last week, and this is also looking at a nice serious 1 day gain. Here are the metrics on this trade. It's a 73.5 bull put spread, risking $5,400 to potentially make $2,100 by August 10th. We're going to look to leg into an iron condor this afternoon in our 1 o'clock session. If you don't know what an iron condor is, you're in the right place, folks. We will give you access to 8 training sessions where we go through iron condors, long call diagonals, and synthetic stock, double verticals, and we start with options basics, folks. Covered calls, cash secured puts, what is a call, what is a put. We got a lot of good stuff going on here at Top Gun Options. So like I said, join us tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Even if you can't join us, make sure you at least register, and I'll send you the replay. So do me a favor and head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.